Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of No But Listen with Courtney and Cherie. I am
Hi.
Cherie. Right over here, we have Courtney. It's been a minute. Last time Courtney was on vacation, then I went on vacation, had to go home. Well, not home, but to where my family lives now. And spend some time with my favorite ladies, my mom and my grandmother, my nephew. So now we're back and work is kicking my ass because when you take time off, then it's like everybody decides to do nothing while I'm gone and I have to make up for lost time. So,
Isn't that the
how has
worst?
your week been?
My week has been a week. I got a virus on my computer thanks to myself. My work computer, so I didn't have really a computer to work off of until yesterday. So,
Nice.
I'm
Well, were you
I'm a
able to
little
slack off a
behind.
little bit?
A little, but not too much cuz I have two events coming up next month, kind of
Okay.
back to back. So, I was like anything that had like a big chart cuz I do a lot of rooming lists, I would have to send to my personal so then I can open it up big cuz I was having to work on my phone. It was like the whole thing.
Well, enough of work because we're
Please.
here. We already have a depressing enough show to get into, and that is The Valley. And you know what it is? It's not even that The Valley super depresses me anymore. It's just really, oh God, I never thought I'd say this about this group of people, but it's not even the group of people, it's the topics at hand. It's really real
Yeah.
about what life is like in a friend group of people that have all different walks of life. You have gay, you have straight, you have bi, you have married with children, you have unmarried with children, you have married or you have engaged, once was engaged and then had a child by choice with children. La la.
Yeah.
But you just have like something, you have divorced, you have a little bit of something for everybody. And so reunion part two picks up with Schwartz's package uh, about him and that little girl.
I just don't care about them. I barely care about Schwartz. She like she didn't make an impression. Like she made a splash, but she didn't leave a lasting impression on me. So I'm kind of just like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I just
She's not
I
having
put
kids
on
with him.
threads today. I like Tom, what are you doing here? Like, what purpose do you actually serve on this show?
I think familiarity, and I think he brings a lightness and an unseriousness to the show.
I actually
He could be a
lied.
friend of.
The show actually opened up with us talking about Michelle and Jesse's divorce and it being
Okay,
finalized
thank
this
God that's
season.
over with.
And Michelle's saying that she's single in the beginning of the episode, which tells us that the whole Dr. Dre thing must not be substantial. Like I think we're probably making this a bigger deal than they are.
Yeah, well, someone said they saw him out with another woman, and I was like, it
I saw
never
that.
gave we're gonna be together. It gave like he's a rich man that's, handsome, wants to take me out.
Well, they get a bit into Jesse and the fact that he's broke. And I'll tell you what really annoyed me in this conversation, and it's that damn Laci. Like, Laci, I want to like you so bad, but the fact that you are making this about the fact that these women say you support him financially, that's not what they're getting at when they say he's with you for money. They are getting at the fact that he's on a low level reality show and clearly that's what you're dying for in life, and they're also getting at the fact that even if you're not paying his actual bills, he's still benefiting with being with a woman like you who does not need him to pay for
Exactly.
anything for her.
And he's probably trying to get her friends to make, real estate deals with or take on his clients. So it's like, Laci, I know you want to make Michelle the villain in your story, but just let her do that naturally because you two are going to hate each other. And this is my issue because we've seen them get along. It's Jesse. Jesse is such a loser. He always gets in between them. When they start acting like civil people to each other, he's like, nope, not around
Well,
here,
the
partner.
fact that he keeps on calling Michelle a liar as it relates to the financial struggles, like, I just don't see her sitting down one day and thinking, I'm going to pull out of my ass that he can't afford to pay for ballet. Like, I just feel like making that up. Like, she's not lying about these things. And let me tell you why she's not lying. Because, much like Laci said, most women would rather fucking drag their vagina across hot asphalt before they decided to pay for a man's life. So, when you have to do that, you keep score in your head of every
Because
dime you've spent.
Michelle is the type of woman to be with a man with money and of stature. She was hanging out the Chateau Marmont, hanging out with, I don't know who people were throwing around like Joaquin Phoenix or whatever. She's hanging out with a big time director. She's hanging out with Dr. Dre. You think she wants to be dealing with this broke man? She
And
does not
I
want
think
this.
I think Michelle feels bamboozled, hoodwinked, and scorned. Do you know what I mean?
1000%.
And I
1000.
think
She's like,
that's,
I thought I was with a mover and a shaker.
yeah. And also too, women don't forget how you treat them after they have your babies.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something they let go of. And she will always go back to, well, first of all, let's go back a second. The $300,000 SBA loan.
Is that
Sir,
illegal? It feels illegal.
it's not illegal, but it is illegal if you don't pay it back. It's
That's what I
illegal if you
mean.
never, yeah. And like how he's getting away, like he's on some jack shit. In a minute, Michelle's probably going to be, or isn't Michelle on the hook for the loan as well?
For half of it.
So, and if he's just at a standstill, and then for Laci to keep being like, I don't believe Michelle is paying most of the expenses. Why not? Why no? Why don't you
When
believe
she
that?
said that, I was like, Laci, we thought you were smart and you're giving dumb as hell right now.
And I would just like to say I need to stop, like, because I didn't like Laci from the moment I laid eyes on her and her Muppet looking ass. I really didn't. Like, and sometimes I realize that I can be a little ornery and a little hard on people at first judgment. And so I'll
Mm-hmm.
listen to the audience a little bit when I'm on threads and I'm on Instagram and be like, oh, she's a boss, this, she's that, she's really cool, she's a good fit. And I was like, okay, like I'll start to see it for her a little bit. And there was peaks in there when her and Michelle were
Mm-hmm.
getting along. Not to say that my opinion's contingent on her and Michelle getting along, but for the life of me, I do not understand why you don't understand that when men get a divorce, they become a different version of who they were for their wives for the new bitch.
Which is crazy because she is fairly newly divorced.
Well, let her tell it. Her marriage wasn't like that deep.
Nothing is that deep to Laci. Like, she just lives in a different world and it's very funny to watch.
Well, what I didn't like, and we didn't talk about it because I don't think we talked about part one in detail or at all. But
Mm.
if we did, what we didn't talk about was them bringing up Michelle's dating and how it's affecting Isabella. That conversation felt so disgusting to me. And that's not to say that I don't disagree with what Jesse's saying as far as his sentiment about the amount of men coming in and out of her life. I just
Mm-hmm.
don't think it was a conversation that Laci needed to take part in. And I definitely
No.
don't think it was a conversation that should have been had on this reunion.
For It's one thing for Jesse to bring it up at the reunion because that's his daughter. For Laci to bring it up, I was like, just when I was liking you. Like, you want to claim you have Michelle's back as a mother? Well, as a mother, why would you publicly shame her about, like, did I think it was wild that she moved her daughter in with a man that she basically just met? Absolutely. But would I ever throw that in her face in public unless I'm trying to deeply hurt her?
Oh,
Like, wait, Lacey, come on.
Michelle was 100% wilding with that Aaron situation. Like that was, but again, I'm always going to go back to because I've experienced it. Her mother was dying slash died. And I have a good
Just don't do it.
friend that watched a loved one die from cancer. And 8, 9 months later, this person is still not okay. Michelle is filming this less than a year. The whole thing with Aaron and everything, this is all less than a year
Like, can you imagine?
after.
She moves into his home. Her mom dies. They break up. She's fighting with Jesse. He was talking about he doesn't want the daughter to see the mom. Then they're finally going through this divorce. She finds out she has to pay $150,000. Like, I don't know how Michelle isn't more crazy.
It's a lot
I
of
think she's
change all
pretty.
at once.
I think she's pretty even killed. And then she has this complicated relationship with her dad. So it's not like she could probably really lean on him.
And I
You know what I
gotta
mean?
be
It's just a
honest
lot.
too, when I sit here and I think about it, outside of like Janet, it does, and maybe Brittany, it doesn't really seem like she's all that close to this group of friends. Like, this seems like these are Jesse's friends that she accumulated in marriage. And she's just kind of stuck around. Like, when I sat and I watched this reunion, nobody was having her back but Janet and Lala. And Lala just got here.
Yeah, Brittany doesn't fight anyone's battles. She wants everyone to fight her battles because Brittany's forever the victim. And it's a little like exhausting. I don't know if I could be Brittany's friend. Like
Yeah.
she's never has anyone's back. It's always about do you have her back or not?
What did you
Because her
think?
situation's always the worst.
What did you think about Michelle's definition of misogynistic as it related to the ladies?
Oh, you mean Laci?
Laci, sorry.
It I said girl, bye. Okay, sure, whatever.
It's like she kept getting close to like making her point stick, and then it was like she would veer off to the left, and I'm like, I'm no longer following this. Like, I don't
I
know.
was I've watched it twice and I every time I get more and more confused, but I get what she's trying to say. Misogynistic is not the word to use. I'm not sure what the word is right now, but misogynistic, I get why she wanted to use it, but it wasn't the right word to use. So it made her look
Yeah,
silly.
yeah. I mean, I just and then like, yeah, I don't know the whole shtick with like I like Jesse, but only a little bit. Like, I'm uninterested in that
No,
too.
she saw Jesse. I mean, he's cute, whatever. She probably realized, let me get in the Bravo world, show them what I can do on this B-level show, and then maybe then I can finally get on Housewives. I wouldn't hate Laci on Housewives after seeing how she moves.
Um, I mean, we'll talk about because here's the thing. Like, notice today when I was talking about what are we going to talk about today, Housewives of Orange County didn't even come on our radar.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Like, it didn't even come on our radar. It that
I
cast
totally
needs a
forgot about that
revamp.
show.
That cast needs a revamp like nobody's business. So, I mean, yeah, bring Lacey and her crew on. But like, I'm sorry, I'm
Let's keep Carmela.
watching
I like her.
50-year-olds, 60-year-olds. Honestly, well, Vicky's the only one in her 60s and she's not included in this
No, Shannon's
part.
in her 60s, right?
Okay, I'm watching these women talk about making TikToks. Like,
Cringe.
I don't. Oh my
The
gosh.
level of loserdom that is Gina and Emily, I can't take it. The Vicky, you are old.
We're not
It's
gonna wait.
okay to
Like,
be
we're
old.
not wasting time on them. Like, honestly, there's just we'll talk about Orange County when we talk about Ultimate Girls Trip later on
Yeah.
this week. But end of an era. Tom Tom's closing.
You know, I understand. Lisa she's moved on to Vegas. She's with Caesars Entertainment, BB. She does not care about these little mom and pop WeHo shops. The only
You know,
reason
it's
why Sir,
interesting. I was thinking to myself the other day, like, oh, how does Tom Shorts make money? And then I said to myself, oh, there's Tom Tom, so I guess he gets residual money off that. And then like literally the following week, I hear this news. So how does Tom Shorts make money?
I think he does appearances.
Okay. Zach
He,
and
he could at least
Benji.
easily get 20 grand in appearance, I would think. 15, 20,
I don't know, Courtney. I think that that's being really
10,
generous. They're
5.
paying like Kyle Cook 10 to 20 for his DJ sets, from
That's
what I
true.
understand. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I know he's
He's at
making
least getting like $3,000.
probably, but okay. Zach and Benji.
I don't care.
Um, I didn't care, but I did find it interesting that Zach is cerebral enough to understand in his financial situation and with what he's got going on in life, he's not in a place to have children. But Benji, the person whose immigration status is constantly up in the air, also living with a man who doesn't have much money or anything going on, is wanting him to commit to having a child within the next year. Zach, you need to run. Benji is a red flag. That makes no logical sense.
I was like, Benji, okay, let's take the money out of it first. Why are people trying to force people who don't want to have kids to have kids? That's the craziest thing I've ever
Well,
heard.
he's not forcing him. He's telling him, if you want to
No,
be
but
my
what I
lover,
mean
you
is,
got to get with my kids.
but that's what I mean. Like, if someone says to me, I don't want to have kids, I'm not having kids with that man because they're not really into it. Maybe Benji doesn't mind basically solo parenting. Maybe I just think that is a wild thing to still have kids with someone that's like, hey, I don't really fuck with kids like that.
Well, I feel like Zach's bigger point wasn't even that he doesn't fuck with kids. It's just that he's never been in a position where he felt
Yeah, no,
comfortable enough to even consider them. So that is an entirely different conversation from I never want them.
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, there's so many layers. Like Benji, he says he doesn't have the money for kids. He doesn't really want kids. Why are we still pushing this issue? It's weird.
This man is still, and this is no shade to him because we've all needed a helping hand in life, but this man is still needing his friends to help him out with rent within the last couple of years, right? So,
He
and
doesn't have a
that's,
couch.
he doesn't have a refrigerator.
No, no, no. I think he has a fridge because in California, at least in LA, you have to supply appliances. I think he just doesn't have a beverage fridge because that monster
Okay,
fridge
well
was
then
not his
that's
main fridge.
ridiculous. But
I know he needs to get over it.
um yeah, I thought that was silly and I was like, Benji, you're wildin'. And the fact that like Zach is sitting there responsible enough to say, I'm not ready for kids because I have so many other things in my life I need to accomplish so that I can provide a good life for them.
It's like,
Ridiculous.
does nobody care that children cost money? And what's so stressful when you have a child needing something and you have no money? That would send me into like freaking depression. Like, Benji, wake up.
Yeah,
Their relationship is so unserious to me.
I feel like Benji is one of the like he's probably dated richer than Zach before. And
I feel
again,
like his ex husband was rich.
I feel the buy-in is you get to be on TV with Zach. I don't because I don't even really see chemistry between those two, if I'm being honest.
Sheree, like that relationship is so unserious to me. Like,
Yeah,
I just, I'm like, you guys, this is not a real relationship. Leave me out of it. It's so
yeah,
weird.
yeah. Lala tells us that she still hates Randall, so that's good. Um, you know, Kristen and Luke come up. Um,
Sheree, they have got to break up. I need him off my screen. I need her to just be a single mom, fabulous. Their relationship is so uncomfortable to me. It makes me
Everybody
uncomfortable.
wants to talk about Danny and Nia, and don't get me wrong, we're gonna get on that ass too. But my God, today it's like, I love my true crime. And when I look at Luke and I hear the things that come out of his mouth, Christopher Watts comes to mind. Do you know who that is, Courtney?
No, I don't do true crime.
That is the man in Colorado who, instead of divorcing his wife while he was cheating on her and she was pregnant with their third child, he
Mm.
instead murdered her and their two
Of
children
course he did.
and stuffed them in an oil container and sent the police in a wild goose chase for weeks and weeks looking for these people. So, and what was interesting about that case was she was like a social media gal, his wife, and they did
Mm.
like family content and stuff, and you'd look at them and you could tell like his smile was fake. He wanted to be somewhere else, like he was a dirt bag. You could just look at him and tell. And that's what I get off Luke. I'm not calling Luke a murderer, simply because I feel like Kristen could hold her own. But
She'd probably murder him first.
but at the same time, it's like he goes out of his way to
Be
humiliate
mean to her,
her
right?
and be mean.
It's like he just he makes me uncomfortable. I don't like the way he looks. And I'm not calling him ugly. I think he's fine looking. I just the way he looks just gives sinister, and it almost is like he smelled her desperation, and so he just likes to like fuck with her cuz I don't think he
I
gets
don't think he
girls.
smelled his her desperation at all, if I'm being
I
honest,
think now
because
he does.
no,
I
no, no,
think
no.
now he knows he has an upper hand.
No, I don't think any of that. I think, and the reason why I say that is because from day one, he has said he does not want to be here. He wants to be elsewhere. He wants to be in Colorado and all of those things. I do think in the beginning, the buy-in was Kristen and simply Kristen. And I think that what we're seeing happen is what Luke and Kristen are experiencing is very common. I have a lot of married friends that have children, and when they had their children, they realized they didn't have the best partner for having children all the time, that they don't have the support in um the way of caring for the children that they would like. And I feel like that's exactly what's happening with Luke and Kristen. They both have very different expectations of what this was supposed to be like. And this lends itself to the bigger conversation of women after a certain age making fetch happen with dudes that maybe they shouldn't have children with because their biological clock is ticking and all they know is they want a baby. And so it's like, good enough. Let's roll the dice and see how this goes. And I think Kristen rolled the dice with the guy that she hooked up with in the back of her friend's wedding, decided I'll make this work with him because I really want to have a baby and I've been really unlucky at love. Because let's look at Kristen's history right before Luke. She was just with and basically engaged to somebody else who had just kicked her out of their house that they bought
Who also
together.
no. He made her sell her house that she
Right,
bought by herself, said move in with me, and then kicked her out.
right. So I think it was less than a year later she got with Luke at this wedding.
Yeah, I think it was like a couple months.
She
Which
gets
is
with it,
fine.
which is
Hook up,
fine.
hook
But
up with someone, but don't take them home.
and don't decide that you need to go through IVF and have a baby with them. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. That's just what,
It's
that's my
weird.
opinion.
But see, that's why I say now he sees her desperation because he now knows she wanted a baby, and now she so desperately wants to be like all her other friends and get married and da 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 da. And he's just like, yeah, I know you want that, and I'm gonna hold it over your head. Like that whole thing. Oh, would you have still proposed to her after if it was after she got pregnant? And he's hemming and hawing. That's my issue with men. You don't have to say everything on your mind. Like, what
Well,
is your problem?
and the thing is, he does this. Did you notice that, like, he kept saying, oh, I know that's how what I did read. I know that's how it came across. That's what you're quite literally doing. He would say that and then explain in detail how he meant to do what he did.
It's like, Kristen, wake up, mama. He hates you. He hates his life. He probably thought being a dad was going to be fun, but like you had a baby with Kristen who is overly controlling and super anxious. She was There was never going to be anything chill about it. And I hate to stick up for Luke, but I also understand because don't say let's go to New York and we bring the baby, but then we don't do anything but go to the studio and hotel.
Well,
Yeah, so I'll stay
he
home.
didn't even answer Andy's question directly because Andy said, "You told my team I will only come if I can be away from Kristen." Then his response was, "No, it was more about having to carry our baby through 2 to 3 different
Yeah, because he
time
didn't want to look
zones."
bad.
But that's my thing, and I wish that Andy, or maybe it got cut, but I wish that somebody would have said like, yeah, we get all that, but what about you saying, only to get if I can get away from Kristen.
He, like Nia, uses the baby as a shield to not look as bad. Oh, well, I didn't want to bring the baby and have her go through different time zones. No, you are using that because you don't want to be with Kristen.
Or
You wanted to get
something,
away from her.
yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
fine.
And then
But like also,
she shit on Colorado, so did you
I
see his
mean,
face when that happened?
I feel the same way.
I'm also not believing that their therapist said that they're too volatile for therapy. Quite literally, that's what therapy's for. I think Luke doesn't want to play ball.
I think the therapist said, "Hey, maybe you guys shouldn't be together."
Did you also, ooh, don't look at my nails. Did you also notice that she's starting to take the Nia approach? Calm, cool, demure. Well, this is what he actually meant. Well, remember, babe, because when you told me X, Y, and Z, and I feel like that therapy answer, that's what she was doing, taking the Nia approach. Let me make something that sounds
It is
believable.
so disgusting, Cherie, Nia, and Danny. I don't even care. I don't even want to talk about them because she likes the abuse. She loves it where she is. I can no longer get upset for this woman. It is so sad to watch her be okay and make excuses and him make I'm just like I'm over it.
But
Like it's so weird.
that's like the new Turning Point USA, like Erica Kirk-esque,
Yeah, like
uh
Andy, he was just such a
righteous
grum.
American family, stand by
Like
your man. You know, we're going back
it's
to the
just like
1960s as far as that goes. And the thing is this, Danny, like the first of all, I wish that Lala would have shut the hell up at some point and let the man dig himself in
she
the
did
holes.
the same thing she did her last two reunions on BPR, which is how she lost us. She doesn't know when to shut up.
Yeah. Sorry, that's work. Yeah, she doesn't know when to shut up, but ultimately, it's just like I understand that you had a shit ex fiance because they weren't even married, ex fiance or whatever, but every man is not Randall. And I'm not sticking up for Danny in this instance, but like
Mm-hmm.
my thing is like Lala kept jumping in this entire season to save Nia. Nia does not want to be saved, Lala. She's not asking
She
for your
loves
help.
it where she's at. She's like Rula. They love it, so I like it. I can't be more upset with you about your stupid husband than you are.
Even as she was sitting there with Danny, it was like the holding his arm, looking at him lovingly. It was like, people forget she is a former Miss USA or whatever, Miss America, whichever one she is. Like, that is what they're trained to do. They are PR trained to the T when they're in those competitions on how to act and not let people see you sweat in public and know how to answer questions. And that's what we got from her. And every time Danny would get a little real or start to get a little unhinged, she would jump right back in there and recenter him. It was
She
very odd to watch.
it made me so uncomfortable when she did that laugh when Andy said but he wouldn't let you eat. I said, oh, she loves it here. She is never leaving this man. He can do whatever he wants, talk to her however he wants. There is no hope, and now I can quit being angry because she loves it here. There's nothing anyone can say about it. She grew up poor. She had a fucked up family life. She is going to make this work because she wants that happy ending. And I want it for her, God damn it.
Yeah, I mean, that's really all that happened at the end of the reunion. Oh, let's talk about the comment that Jasmine made and why people are being willfully obtuse about it online.
The same way the whole Charles Manson thing. Is everyone stupid now?
Like, and don't get me wrong, I do not ride for Jasmine. I think
No, can't
Jasmine
stand her.
misses the bar quite more often than she does. But nigga, a broken clock is right twice a day. And she hit the nail on the head. What she was not able to articulate clearly is that she is tired of them using the excuse that they're parents, so they're sleep deprived, their coochie's falling out, they have postpartum depression, as an excuse to treat their spouses and the other people in that group like shit. It's no
Because
different than
parents,
when women say I have a period, so I'm in a bad mood today, and the world says
mhm.
get the fuck over it. Who cares that you have a period? Keep on and keep calm and carry on. That's literally what she was saying.
No, it's the same thing of like, remember when Ariana, when Lala's dad had died and she was acting nuts, and Ariana was like, "Okay, my dad died too, and I didn't get to act like this. You
Right.
don't get to act bad because something bad is happening in your life." And so for everyone, the issue with Jasmine is she should have let, like, well, I guess no one else, because Lala be the best person, but she's has kids. But it's like Jasmine doesn't know how to eloquently speak.
She's not articulate. It's the
Yeah,
issue.
she
Like
just
instead of
runs and
insulting them
runs.
and saying you guys are weird, it's weird. Like, no, bitch, what you just say is I'm tired of you guys saying I drink because I have kids and I act crazy. I talk to people nuts because I only got 3 hours of sleep because I have kids. What she's saying is it does not negate you guys
You don't get to
being
treat your wife
responsible
like
for your
shit.
behavior. Most people around me are parents at work, everywhere in my life. They are not coming into the job unhinged and doing
They,
half of the things that are going on in this group.
you know what also bothers me about parents, just in general? A lot of the times when parents complain about being a parent, this is not something that just happened to you. You chose, in most cases, you went out of your way to get pregnant, especially like Ania.
You're
You
bragging
were
about four
drowning
under
in
four.
kids.
You're bragging about four under
This
four.
wasn't like cancer that just
We're
happened.
watching Kristen go through IVF to have her children.
I don't
You
want to
know,
hear you
like I
complain.
don't want to hear it. And the other thing I'm fucking sick and tired of is I don't have to have a child to know what the fuck I'm talking about in certain instances when it comes to the parent child dynamic. Because guess what? I am a child of somebody. And the things that she did affected me in my life, positive and negative. So, having been on the other side of the parent child experience, that gives you the right to speak on it. Most of it, all of us come from somebody. Somebody raised us. I would
Parents just
never speak
want,
on how often you need to feed the little niggas. I would not speak on diaper rash because I've not experienced that. But what I can say is I've been on the receiving end of parents growing up that maybe had a bad day and came home and took it out on you. That's not okay. In the same vein, it's not okay to take those same scenarios out on your friends.
it's just like, it's so immature, and it's like, hey, so I don't care you have a child. You chose to do that. I really don't give a fuck, actually. Like,
It's just I'm so tired of adult, and it's not even just this show. There is an issue in society with adults never wanting to be responsible for their actions. Everybody wants to use fucking therapy words now, like oh
mhm.
trigger, trigger, trigger. Oh, I'm triggered by this, so I reacted that this way. No, 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 no. What you learn in therapy is you have to know what your triggers are so that you check your motherfucking self. It's not everybody else's job to walk on
Everyone's supposed to
eggshells
tiptoe
around
around
you because
everything.
you have a newborn that won't latch onto your nipple. Like it's not my job. That's your husband's job to take care of you in that situation. Not me, bitch. I'm here
Tree.
in San Diego to get fucked up.
To get fucked up. I will never get over when I was looking at a TikTok and this girl's making a bagel sandwich. So she took out the filling of the bread to make more room. And somebody said, "This is triggering my ED." Hey, I don't care. I don't care. Keep swiping. She's like, "You shouldn't do this. This triggers my ED." I don't care about you. This video has 2 million views.
Yeah, I like I said, I don't go up for Jasmine. I just like I was like, oh, okay, everybody, but it's just like the kind of the same thing we saw happen in the city. I did not disagree with old girl Whitney all the way when it came to Lindsay because Lindsay,
Mm.
in her argument, did not land that plane at all. She made this about all the mothers in the world and
She
this, and
should have
that.
just said, "We're two people. I planned the trip. We're taking the master." Left it at that. Don't even bring up being moms because I don't care. I don't care you're
Even
tired.
if you were to bring up moms and we're talking to the point where Whitney was like, she's always throwing in the mom card, the way I would have, like, yeah, I'm always going to throw in the mom card because I gave birth for 16 hours and split my vagina, you ignorant bimbo. Like, I would have went there. But Lindsay, she never, that's my thing with Lindsay. I know everyone loves Queen Mother Lindsay. Lindsay's arguments never land. She just throws a
I think
bunch
they
of
land
like,
about 75% of the time, but
they
sometimes
never land.
she just goes, and you're like, whoa, hey,
Cause like, and then
Lindsay.
she like ends that sentence with, "Oh, I cried about this every day." No, you didn't.
And
No,
then she's,
you
yes. And then
didn't.
she puts a cherry on top that's rotten. It's like, Lindsay, we know you didn't cry about this.
The
We know
only
you,
thing that
mama.
stopped me was Amanda's thing. So thank you. I hope you didn't rehearse that. I hope you didn't rehearse that. That was terrible. Like she's not good with the reads, but she thinks she is. It's very white. It's very white of her. But
Yeah,
anyways, everybody's not quick-witted like Atlanta, because boy, those bitches had my head spinning in that reunion. But
I love them so
anyways,
much.
the rest of the reunion of for the Valley was basically the discussion of Danny Darko as it relates to how he treats Nia, regardless of how he's drinking. He made a bunch of excuses for his
He's
behavior.
tired.
She made a bunch of excuses for his behavior and basically said, "My king, he honors my every desire. I don't have any issues with this man. That's all you guys' experience." Lala tried to get in there and just like, Kristen did get in and say how disappointed she was. But it's like, Kristen, you really owe people an apology though, because you called people liars about the situation. And they were not lying. You did not want to see it because you had your own shit going on, to be honest. But nobody was lying. Most of all, Brittany wasn't lying. And I guess we'll get to that in part three because where it ended is Danny lying and saying he had not drank since the show wrapped, and everybody being like, skirt, what about Jasmine's wedding?
Uh, the lies these people tell on this show is so funny because they're so easily unraveled as lies. Like they're never good lies.
Well, that's
Like
always been my issue with
there's
Kristen
cameras.
Doty. Kristen Doty is a terrible liar. She gets
Remember when she
busted
said,
out
"I never
every
said that"? You were on camera.
Yeah. And you know what kills me about people like Kristen Doty is like in your like circle in your world, like you really scare them, huh? Like you really make them feel like you're a queen bitch, huh? Like a bitch like me with Kristen Doty, I would eat Kristen alive.
She's too crazy for me to take serious.
That's what I'm
You know
saying.
what I
I'm
mean?
just like, you fucked your
Like
best friend's
you're
nigga,
too
like,
unhinged.
and like smiled in her face for what years about it. So like,
She's the Valley's a
Kristen,
mess and I love it. Wait, did you see? Oh no, you sent it to me that Stassi thinks that her show is an elevated valley, and I'm like, just as ghetto, mama.
God, I am honestly ashamed to say I even wasted 4 hours of my life, 6 hours of my life on those episodes of
It
Life,
took
whatever,
it took me a
Life with
minute to get
Stassi,
through
whatever the
them.
fuck it's called.
I do think the name is cute. But Stassi, like I've always thought, she can't hold her own show.
I did not realize Georgie is 30.
Yeah, she looks my age.
I
But I
thought
guess
she was,
Stassi's my age.
no, I thought she was like 22 by how she acts.
Oh, she acts very immature.
And like how
But
she
also,
presents, she looks like a little kid.
so Georgie's dad also died recently ish. Like maybe 2 or so years, because I'll randomly like go on a deep dive of Georgie. And I find it very interesting. She hasn't brought up about her father dying because I feel like that plays a role in her wonderlessness right now. Because the way she talked about it on social media, I feel like he might have been sick or something. And I think it really hit her. Obviously, like a parent dying hits everyone. But I feel like that plays into her just kind of meandering through life right now. And I think it's very interesting that Stassi doesn't seem to give her much grace.
Um, I'm gonna be very honest, and I don't want to sound like a bitch. That show bores me so much that as you were just explaining all that about Georgie, I was thinking about other things. I heard everything you said, heard everything you said, but I just like, and like, yeah, losing a parent, especially if they were sick, of course it would play into some flightiness. It just seems like Georgie's kind of always been like this based off. what
She's
Stassi said.
definitely an artiste, and we know artistes are very
Yeah, so I mean, whatever. I don't know. I'm not trying to give Stassi much of my time as far as that. Like, it's fuck Stassi forever. I just watched that show to try to see if she would address what happened in 2020, like
oh, and she
earnestly
did.
and honestly. And honestly, the whole situation made my skin crawl. I don't have any breath to give it. So, um, but that was the Valley reunion. How much time do you have? Do we have time for Roa or should we wait?
Well, technically, I'm supposed to be there in 5 minutes,
Oh,
but I mean, we can wait. Hold on. Is anyone?
well, we need to do Ultimate Girls Trip too, so we could combine those.
Okay,
Okay, so
that
then we'll
works.
come back to you guys with more Bravo because we knew we were gonna need a little time for the Valley. We just knew it. So
It was such a doozy.
it was, but we're done with that. That's the good news. That's the last of it.
Yes.
Till next season, we're
No, we have
done.
one more part.
Oh, right. Because they're gonna prolong this whole Danny at the wedding shit. So we'll
To
get
be
through
continued.
that, and then that will be it. Summer House is done. That's done. On to lighter things. So we will catch
Yes.
you guys back when we come back with the rest of our Bravo roundup.
And
Bye.
Married at First Sight.
Oh, and Married at First Sight. So
Oh
like,
my God, I have so
comment,
much to talk
subscribe,
about.
all the things. I know I need to watch those 3 episodes because I heard they're good. So,
So that'll be Saturday. I'm so excited.
all right. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.